Your average Trump rally attendee, particularly at this stage of the game with 2 impeachments, 4 indictments, and a finding that Trump is a civilly liable rapist, the attendees are still very delusional. And we're going to look at a few examples from yesterday's rally at in Summerville, South Carolina. Take a look at some of this. And remember, these folks vote, or at least they're allowed to vote. Whether they do or don't is a different question. Here's a woman at the Trump rally who was asked, "What do you think about the indictments?" And she said, "The indictments are propaganda." What does that mean exactly? I don't know. Let's see if she can explain it to us.
Or indictments that he has against him. What do you
the indictments, I think, is a lot of propaganda. I think once it all comes into court, that he's got a good legal team, and they're gonna debunk all that.
blow him out of the water?
Yes, I really feel like
Yeah.
this.
Now, of course, this ignores that at least the arguments that Trump and his lawyers have been publicly making, quite literally, are not legal defenses to what Trump is charged with. Oh, the documents, it's all under the Presidential Records Act. No, it's not. It's under criminal law. You were no longer president. That won't work in a court of law. Oh, whatever. They're indicting me for my free speech because I said I won. No, it actually says in the indictment that that's not why you're being indicted. Very, very clearly. The indictments are propaganda, which are going to be debunked. That I can't wait to see. Here's a guy at the Trump rally who's frustrated that at the College of Charleston, where he attended school, he was outnumbered by Democrats. All right.
I studied political science at the College of Charleston.
By the way, for those who are just listening, this guy's wearing a shirt with Trump's mugshot on it that says "Never Surrender."
A few right-leaning people in every single one of my classrooms, but after every single class, I would have multiple people go up to me and say, "Hey, thanks for sharing your opinions. Thanks for that. Thanks for this." And that's cool, but we're not going to win anything unless we're all speaking up. It's 1v30 with just me. I need at least a couple more guys here, you know? I studied political science.
There were quiet Republicans in his classes, quiet Republicans, but they weren't willing to speak up during during lectures or whatever. I remember, by the way, having class with a few guys like this where they would grind classes to a halt simply by playing devil's advocate about everything, including things that are just facts. And this gets us back to the real pernicious nature of a society that increasingly doesn't know the difference between what sort of statement is a statement of fact and what sort of statement is a statement of opinion. I've been deeply researching this issue because it's actually almost an entire chapter in my forthcoming book, which I've been writing. The inability to even distinguish fact from opinion, not what are the facts, but just what sorts of statements are fact. I can imagine this guy was a real pleasure to have in class. Here's an interview with another woman. She was asked, "Why do you support Trump?" Her answer is a little bit of revisionist history.
What is it about him that brings you out here?
Because when he was in there before, everything was wonderful. And when he left, everything went to hell.
Isn't that the best?
The United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars.
Exactly. So it was all great, and then it all went to hell. Lower unemployment now than we had under Trump, faster job creation, more respect around the world. I don't have to do it for you, but it's this black and white thinking. Not everything was bad under Trump. I've said it. There were many elements of the economy that, at least until COVID hit, were actually quite strong. Whether Trump had anything to do with that is, of course, a different question that if you put on these folks, they very much struggle to answer. Here's a young guy at the rally who says he has a rap song about how Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates should be arrested. For suspicion of what crime? I don't know. And I don't know that the guy knows either.
Red pill, serious issues. Tell us about your shirt. Tell us about being here.
All right, so I make music, rap, hip hop, R&B, different things. And I made a song talking about the 2021 election and things like that, talking about red pill, arresting Dr. Fauci, arresting Bill Gates, telling everybody to wake up. We need to fight for each other. We all need to stick together. It's not about racism, not about division. It's about sticking together and fighting as one.
And the best way to unite the country would be to arrest Bill Gates as well as Dr. Anthony Fauci. Then we will really get beyond this partisan bickering and move on to serious stuff. The takeaway from every single one of these interviews is for every one of those 4 people, remember, that's potentially 4 votes. We now need 4 of us to vote to cancel out the votes of these folks who are completely divorced from reality. It should always, when Trump says something crazy at a rally and people clap, that should be a reminder, oh, we need to vote. When we see an interview with this guy or this woman or this guy or this woman, the takeaway is, oh, we need to vote. The takeaway is always, we need to vote. When it comes to taking care of my skin and hair, I never really knew how to have a daily routine. I definitely don't buy into the bogus miracle creams and stuff that's out there. That's where our partner Geology changed the game for me. Geology is a 23-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company that just gives you simple, effective skincare and hair care routines customized to you with the basic ingredients that dermatologists recommend because they're the few ingredients that actually work. From their affordable skin revitalizing serum with vitamins C and E and ferulic acid, their awesome line of deodorant, body wash, and shampoo for a healthy scalp, which I've been loving, Geology has you covered. Geology has been featured in places like Men's Health and Esquire. You can read the glowing reviews online. And right now, for a limited time, Geology is hooking you up with an amazing offer. You'll get 70% off their award-winning skincare trial set, plus 30% off any add-on products of your choice. Go to davidpakman.com/skin or use the QR code on the screen and use the code PAKMAN70 at checkout. The link is down below.